I had my very first craft fair this past Saturday, and I have one word for you. Yikes. Hello, welcome back to Inspired Crochet. This is Ashley, and today we will be discussing my experience at my very first craft fair this past Saturday. If you've been following my channel for a while, you may know that I have had this craft fair planned for probably close to 6 months now, and I was extremely nervous. I almost pulled out of this craft fair entirely because I was so nervous. And now I'm wondering if maybe I should have just pulled out anyway. But no. We are trying to think positively, reframe negative experiences, and figure out and learn figure out what I learned, right? So, we're just gonna sit down here. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk about what I've been through. So one of the things I'm using is, I ended up Saturday after the whole thing, I was fried. My brain just was like not processing anything properly. So I actually use this app. It's like a journaling app. It's an AI journaling app. Not sponsored, not affiliated, but this thing helps me kind of like process everything that I had to do. It's called Rosebud AI or something like that. So if you are interested, down below. But I will be referring to this because this was it's sort of like a stream of consciousness, sort of me just everything that I felt. And I feel like this is a good place to start to get all of my impressions of the event. So, the TLDR. It was meh. The craft fair was So, it was, and I think the biggest issue of this craft fair is that the event organizers, must have not promoted it very well at all because traffic was very low. Not many people showed to this. I did make a few sales. I think I saw 7 sales, and I took away only about just shy of $76. And you would say, wow, that's not a whole heck of a lot. Based on what I saw from tables around me, I think that's probably pretty on par with what other people did. Now, there was another crocheter next to me, which is another issue that I think was not well organized on the event coordinator's part, as it was sort of a free-for-all when we walked in. We just had to choose a spot. So they did not plan it out. So, of course, another crocheter / jewelry maker parked herself next to me. And she had some similar items as me. And some not so similar. And I noticed that some of her items were selling more than mine. And I know she did sell, just from watching, because there was not a lot going on. I had a lot of time to watch. From watching, I noticed that she sold quite a bit. And, she had these, little hanging plant things. I'm like, well, I need to get in on that, if that's what people are buying. So, what I noticed is that I think that the crochet people in the room I was in, I think we all made some kind of sales, which is good. I noticed that, there was a woman in front of me that I don't know if she might have made one. I don't know. And, it seems like the people that were selling food, they made bank. There was a barbecue sauce guy, away, one booth away. People were buying his barbecue sauce left and right. There was some other, food donut thing. I saw everybody with those. And I think it's just, money. I think those, I don't know about barbecue sauce, but, the donuts and stuff is probably a little cheaper. All in all, the table fee was not that expensive. I made my table back. I did have to give a raffle, and I don't know. I'm kind of mad at the raffle that I contributed. I really liked the item that I made, and I chose that one because I thought it was a nice example of the stuff I make. It was the sunflower in a mug. I think I showed it earlier. And I'm sad that I don't really feel like it was appreciated the way I would have liked. It did go home with somebody, that's good. But I'm just not sure. And the communication was horrendous. But I can't complain because the table fee was extremely cheap. But I'm complaining anyway. I heard from some of the other vendors that this was very disorganized. This was my first one, so I had no idea. But apparently it was extremely disorganized. And I'm just really... I think a lot of people were frustrated. Mostly because I don't think they advertised it very well. They sent us an email saying, this will be one of the biggest events in the town, and, insert town here, of the weekend, or I don't know. But it really wasn't. It was dead. So in my little app, it's trying to help me reframe and figure out the things that I've learned. I almost feel like it wasn't even that good of a learning experience because it wasn't a good example of how a craft fair should be run. So I don't know. Did I meet people? Yes. Did people compliment my work? Yes. Did people buy my work? Not so much. And that leads me to my other issue, which is I think I might price a little too high. The area I was in is not exactly a wealthy area, so that is a contributing factor. But, none of my mug cactuses sold. I did sell one of my little pen clips, but my penguins sold. I sold 3 of my penguins. So my little penguin pattern. So if you guys don't know, I do have my own penguin pattern. I will try to remember to link it down below. But I sold 3 of those. So that's wonderful. That means that my penguin was well received. And actually, that's like a really good takeaway that the one item that was my own is the item that sold the most. I made some money. That is good. I feel like I might have made more than some of the other tables around me. I wasn't watching them like a hawk, so I don't know for sure. It is difficult because a lot of the yarn, like the successful crocheters, are using the plush yarn. And while I had a few items on my table that were made with the plush yarn, that is not my main type of yarn I want to use. I want to branch out because crocheting is extremely oversaturated. Everybody is crocheting. And especially with that plush yarn, they're all crocheting the same stuff, so I wanted to branch out and do something different. And actually another vendor complimented me and said that she liked, I think it was my pen clips, and she thought it was a really unique idea and appreciated the fact that I'm doing something a little different and unique. And that made me feel better. So in my turmoil after the whole event, I sat down with my little app here, and it did give me a list of, based on what I wrote, it gave me a list of like the few positive takeaways that I can take from this. And these are the things that I have to remember when I'm considering doing this again, because I am not sure if I want to do it again. I was exhausted, and that's not like, that is something that's going to happen if it's a good fair or not. Being in social environments takes a lot out of me, so I was like, my brain was like shaking. It was like, I was fried. I went home. I was also operating on like an hour and a half of sleep due to anxiety prior. And So I, needless to say, slept fairly well that night, despite the some of the negative outcomes of the event. But we are talking about the positive. We are working on reframing here. So I'm just going to read what they said I have 5 positive key takeaways here. I made sales despite the event's low attendance and disorganization, indicating there is a market for my products. But I'm sad because it didn't seem like there might be a market for my mug cactuses. And I really like my mug cactuses. I complain about making mug cactuses, but nobody bought them. Again, that could be a issue with pricing because I priced them at like $35 was the most expensive. And honestly, the one that took the longest should have been more, but I priced the most expensive one was $35. You observed interest in your crafts, even if not everyone made a purchase, which means there's potential to build on that interest. You've identified that your pricing reflects the quality and time investment of your work, which is important to sustaining a business. You gained firsthand experience in a craft fair setting, which, while not ideal, has given you insights into what to look for in future events. So that's a good one. So now I know what to look for when approaching other future events. Some of the things I'm concerned about is other future events will limit the amount of crochet artists because of everybody's crocheting right now. And it's gained a lot of popularity, especially since, with the plush yarns and all the cute things that you can make with that. So getting into another one may be a challenge. We'll see. I don't know how that's going to go. And the last one that you would know, I've talked about it before, is the idea of pattern writing and how it has emerged in my desire to create my own things and maybe focus on that instead. That was another thing I really wanted to do, was just like make myself feel more like the creative that I am, feel more like the artist that I might be. So I even put on my business cards, fiber artist. I feel that's a little, high up there, but, I'm not sure if I'm considered a fiber artist yet, but that is my goal. That's what I want to be. So yeah, that's what we are working on. I think that's where my energy is going to go, is working on some designs for myself and then maybe even sharing them with you guys. So that'll be fun. I do actually have this. So this is one of the items I did sell. This is a little bee bookmark. I didn't actually sell one, but this little bee is a pattern that I made up. Come to find out, it's so simple that just going online, there's a bee nearly identical to this on YouTube. I did not copy it or anything, but it looks almost identical to this. But I might do a tutorial. Let me know if you are interested in a little tutorial with that little bee. And how you can turn it into a bookmark. That might make it a little different, right? I will probably put here, maybe. I was going to put it towards the beginning, but I will put a picture here of what my table looked like. You guys can look at it, roast it kindly. I only had one table because I only had probably enough stuff to go on one table. And I did some really cool stuff with it. I changed some things around I'm pretty happy with. But having a second table would be helpful so that I'm not hidden behind my table. That was one of the issues that I saw, that I couldn't see anybody. So that's one of the things I will want to do the next time I do a fair, is hopefully have more stuff to put on another table and not be hiding behind my boxes, my crates. Because it was like, oh, look, somebody's looking at my stuff. Oh, somebody's looking. Hello. And then you feel really weird because you're like, oh, a person. And you stand up and you get all ready and then they walk away. There were a lot of awkward moments like that. In fact, why don't you share in the comments below, share one of your awkward craft fair moments. I would love to hear those. That would be a fun video in the future if I ever have any more. Awkward craft fair moments. I mean, this whole thing was an awkward craft fair moment to me. I mean, it was new, it was awkward, it was, you know, disorganized on the part of the event organizers. But let me say, I was not expecting a wonderful, super organized event because this was essentially run by high schoolers and a few staff members at a high school. So my expectations were not high, but there were a lot of very well established, very creative, very talented vendors all showed up. And I just felt kind of bad for them because they could have chosen a much more lucrative fare or option. And so they probably went away even more disappointed than I did. And that's a shame. And hopefully the event organizers have learned something themselves. And I don't know if this is their first time doing it. This is the first time I've heard of it, but this is also the first time I've ever looked into getting into a craft fair. But hopefully they learn something, and maybe next year it'll run smoother. Who knows? Will a lot of people go again next year? Probably not. But who knows? Maybe. Maybe I will. Probably not. So that is pretty much my key takeaways from my very first craft fair event. Yes, I was disappointed, but I am working on reframing that and taking away some positives and learning experiences from this event. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, drop a like down below. It means a lot. It helps the channel. And if you like me, subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you know when another video comes out. And hopefully I will be making videos again. I had to stop so I could get ready for the fair. So I do apologize for that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. Bye, everybody.